Well, hey guys, it's John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Great to be with you on Inspirations for Your Life today. Back in New Jersey again, so it is good to be back in New Jersey. It is Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. I'm so great to be with you. Again, if this is your first time with me, I want to say thank you and I want to say welcome. If you have been here many times before, I want to say thank you. And of course, I want to say welcome back. It's always great to have people that enjoy the content for which that I produce. All right, guys. If you're thirsty, feel free to go grab yourself or a water, fruit, snack, or whatever you'd like, and come on back to the show. We have a great master topic this week, as you know, and we have another great granular topic. So it is great to be with you. Don't forget to check out believemeachieve.com, of course, for more of my amazing, inspiring creations, which you can do right after this show is over, guys. Yes, right after the show is over, you can do that. So, without further ado, guys, let's kick this show off. All right. This is Inspirations for Your Life. And we're talking about something very interesting, which is owning your path, clarity, courage, and boundaries for peak living. That's what this week is about, in case you didn't know. Welcome, everyone, to Inspirations for Your Life. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, keynote speaker, graduate student, and a passionate lifelong learner. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I am, yes, going to be a published author very, very soon. So I'm really excited about that, guys. All right. So today's episode dives into focus, prioritization, and of course, clarity. We explore how deliberate attention, intentional choices, and disciplined focus multiply results, reduce stress, and create unstoppable momentum. Okay, it is Tuesday. It is February 24th, 2026, if you're watching us live. And we're going to dive right into the first point, and that is focus turns intention into measurable results. So when we focus with true intention, we have measurable results. We can always change them if we want. And this is when your mind is fully on a goal. Every action compounds toward it. Now, I don't mean it happens once, it happens over and over again because that's how it works. Okay. Think about that for a moment. Or think about what that means to you. I want to talk to you about prioritization. Prioritization ensures energy is spent on what matters most, avoiding tasks that give minimal impact. Because let's face it, guys, that's going to happen in our world. And so that's a very, very important thing. Number three, guys, clarity simplifies tough decisions, reduces stress, and allows confident action even under uncertainty. Yeah, even under uncertainty. I think that's a very important thing. So that's really important. Number four, avoid forbidden distractions that derail momentum and guard your attention like it's the most valuable resource that you have. That's really important to understand. Um, I think that's an important thing. Um, does that make sense to you? Hopefully it does. And hopefully this can get you to be on a different path. And the path can get you to go something like this. It can get you to go from zero to becoming a hero, like not overnight, but pretty quickly. Number five, guys, concentration multiplies the impact of effort. Small bursts of focused work often outperform hours of scattered activity. I think that's something that a lot of people miss in life. They miss the fact that that happens. Um, that's an important thing to definitely understand when we think about that, right? Number six, prioritizing key actions builds unstoppable momentum. Identity is important, but identifying the high level tasks and learning how to tackle them first before we get wrapped up to anything else. Because I think sometimes what happens is we get stuck with this, I'll call it the lemon, and we don't know how to traverse because it's like the lemon showed up out of nowhere. Okay. That's really important. Number 7, guys, clear objectives guide smarter daily choices and prevent wasted energy on non-essential activities. Yeah, non-essential activities. That's important, guys. Not because I'm saying it, but because if you can recognize that in your life, you can understand that there are big, big changes. But again, these things never happen overnight. They take time, and once we know they take time, we can appreciate when they show up, how we're gonna behave. And that's an important thing that a lot of people, I think, oftentimes miss. Moving on to number 8, guys, avoid overcommitment to protect focus and energy. Saying no is a strategic advantage. But I think that's an important thing to recognize. How that's going to move forward. Number 9, being as spot on as a laser. In other words, laser focus, and this will produce exponential progress over time. Sustained attention creates breakthroughs. Prioritization prevents energy leaking into non essential tasks, keeping your effort aligned with your outcomes. I think sometimes it's hard to stay on track with our outcomes because so much is going on. And so we have to keep our eye. A lot of times, people, you might have heard this before, we have to keep our eye on the prize. I mean, that's an important thing, but it's important to understand that. Um, I think that's a very important thing. And since we know this, right? I think that's important to understand, right? I think if we can understand the alignment, how outcomes work, um, it can make a difference. Clarity reduces uncertainty in complex situations. Clear thinking allows decisive moves. Okay. Not one, two, three, but it does allow them. And that's an important thing. And discipline is hard for a lot of people to really understand. All right. It's hard. And the reason I say it's hard is because, well, we don't seem to get why we're doing something or, what we're after. I think that's an important thing that a lot of people just don't get. I think the reason they don't get it is because, well, they're on another track. They're thinking about one thing, but then they're missing the whole umbrella, okay? Right? That's an important thing to understand, okay? And if we can understand that, then maybe we could understand like why things are working a certain way or maybe why they're not working a certain way. And I think the reason why they're not working a certain way is because you have perception about that, about something. And the perception might be wrong. Perception might be wrong. Does that make sense? And then you can kind of get a perspective of that. Okay. Does that make sense, everybody? Or does that get confusing? Does that clear everybody? Does that make sense to you? Or does that confuse everyone? I don't know. That's a question I'm asking you because I think sometimes, we get really trapped in these situations and we don't necessarily know like what to say or why to say, but we know they pop up. Number 12, guys, focused routine, strengthen habits, and self discipline, creating reliability and consistent progress. Number 13, avoid forbidden shortcuts that compromise long term success. Integrated effort yields lasting results. I know you might be saying to me, John, like, that's really hard. Okay, it's hard. I didn't say it was going to be easy, but I want to tell you that it's doable. And by doable, I mean that you believe in yourself because I think sometimes we don't believe in ourselves and that causes us to get stuck. And then we wonder why we're stuck in quicksand or why we can't get out, but we just keep sinking more. Number 14, guys, attention management is the modern superpower. The ability to concentrate beats multitasking. Yeah, when we can concentrate on one thing. I mean, so many of these companies, they want you to do a million things. But the truth of the matter is, when you're doing all these other things, you're not focused on one thing. You're not doing that one thing really, really well, unfortunately. And it happens. And then people are like, oh, I can't do that. And then they just put themselves down. So, number 15, prioritize results over mere busyness because everybody likes to be busy. Working smart outweighs working hard without direction. And that's another one I think most people miss in life. They miss the fact that we are in a direct paradigm. Okay. They miss that. That's a very important thing to understand. It's important to understand, like, what that whole thing means. And I want to tell you that you can't just do what you want anytime. You can't. If you don't have value for something, guys, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem. I think that's a hard thing for a lot of people to grasp. It's probably the best way to say that. Okay. Um, So, number 16, clarity allows confident action in uncertainty. Knowing your priorities reduce the hesitation for which you have, well, elicited. That's another one that kind of trips people up sometime, right? How or why does it happen, right? That's important. Very important to understand. I think sometimes we realize what we want, but then the pathway there has a trap or has a fire. And then because we don't think there's another way out, okay, we stop. Number 17. Focus on one task at a time. For maximum impact, multitasking fragments energy and reduces results. That's important, guys. We have to realize to work on one task at a time. I know we have other tasks, but focus on one thing at a time. Does that make sense? I hope it does. It can make sense for you if you read between the lines. Number 18, avoid mental clutter that clouds judgment. Declutter your mind to sharpen decision making. It's another great one to follow, isn't it? Focusing on one task at a time and understanding what clutter means. Because I think a lot of people get clutter in their life, but they don't necessarily know like how to get rid of it or even know like what they're supposed to be doing. They just get all confused. Number 18, guys, avoid mental clutter because when you avoid it, your brain has the resources and it gets the clarity to work on what it already has. So your mind will get sharper. I think a lot of people don't realize what sharpness means, but it's important to understand that it becomes paramount in our success. One person told me a while ago, John, it's not about a transaction. And many years ago, I would have disagreed. But now that I've been in business for many years and I've agreed with this for several years, that it's not about the transaction. The first year or two I was in business now over 34, 35 years, I would have said, it's all about the money. But now it's about the client. It's about the relationship. See, that's the most important thing. Number 19, guys, prioritization aligns actions with long-term goals. Every choice should move you closer to your vision. Every choice. Number 20, clarity reduces emotional friction and hesitation. Clear intent calms internal conflict. I think sometimes when they get conflict, people are like, oh, I don't know what to do. They freeze. Number 21, focused action prevents wasted time and effort. Deliberate steps accelerate outcomes. Deliberate steps, so that's a step that you intentionally want to take. That's important, guys. Very, very important to understand. So important that many people don't get it. And I think sometimes that means us having to be, let's say, a person that understands our worth. Because if we don't know our worth, how can we charge more for it? Oh, I don't want to charge that person. I was like that many years ago. This is what I charge. This is my value. It's what I charge for. Giving keynote speeches now in 30 minutes, and they're not $200. I'm going to be a published author in just a couple months if you're listening to this live. Otherwise, if you're listening to this after April or May, I will have been a published author for my first motivational book. And there's going to be many more. And there's going to be a tech book and other stuff. Number 22, guys, avoid forbidden distractions that hijack attention. Recognize what steals your energy, okay? And eliminate it immediately, not tomorrow, okay? Not the next day, immediately. That's important. Very important, guys. Number 23. Prioritization compounds effectiveness daily. Repeat intentional choices create exponential growth. These are powerful things, guys. Very powerful things. Clarity sharpens intuition. Number 24, for a complex set of choices. A clear mind interprets subtle signals faster than a cluttered mind, a distracted, a multitasked mind. I'm not saying you can never multitask, but what I'm saying is when you're working on something that's very important, it is key that you pay attention. Like when I'm working on my book, I don't work on anything else but my book during that couple hours that I'm writing. Number 25, focus prevents regret from the missed opportunities that you could be getting. Attentive presence catches critical moments. And these are things that you don't get from a book. They're not things you get from going to school. These are things you get from living life. Number 26, guys, align priorities with values to stay on track. Clarity comes when actions reflect the core principles for which we have. And our core principles might change from day to day, and that's perfectly okay because we change as people. I'm not the same person I was when I was 2 or 3 or 7 or 8 or 10 or 12. I'm a totally different person. Number 27, guys. Clarity ensures consistency in results. Knowing what matters prevents erratic behavior. When we know what matters to us and what matters to others, we won't get this barometer up, down, up, down, up, down. We won't get this seismograph of reactions. We'll get a constant line. Predictability is a very important key to success. I learned a skill not too long ago that, sometimes people say, you got to do 100 things, but it's not the 100 things you do. It's the 1 or 2 things you do. This could be in making phone calls or reaching out to people. You don't send 100 emails. You don't make 100 contacts on your platform. You make 1 or 2 a day. But you keep doing that day in and day out, so it becomes part of you. It becomes what I like to say as easy as brushing your teeth. Now, brushing your teeth is pretty easy, even though I floss my teeth before I brush my teeth. It's an easy habit, and yet you don't get all emotional about doing it because you're like, oh, I didn't get the results. Just do it. Do it anyway. I remember that from a couple mentors many years ago that, it may not yield the results, do it anyway. And you might say, John, well, that makes no sense. It does, because if you're doing something that has a proven track record and you haven't seen the results yet, but it's been proven in many places, keep doing it. It will yield you results. Number 28, guys, avoid energy draining shortcuts. Sustainable progress requires smart pacing and patience. It doesn't require you to get an attitude. Nope, it does not. Number 29, focused effort multiplies outcome beyond effort alone. Depth often beats breadth in achievement. That's pretty wild. In achievement. That's important. I think when we can have an understanding for that, we can move quite a ways. Quite a ways. But it's our ego or our alter ego that sometimes sabotages the success that's about to be delivered to us by the universe. Number 30, guys, prioritization and clarity create unstoppable progress of momentum. Intentional living compounds over time to reach and allow us to attain peak performance. Does peak performance mean you're the best ever? No. It means that you are optimized for the best results you can get right now. Maybe what you were doing a couple days ago was the best you could get back then. Maybe in a week from now, the results you're getting is better because you've tweaked. It's what you're getting right now. And I think a lot of people out there, when they're watching, listening, saying to me, hey, John, progress is great, okay? and I just want to move the needle. And I used to be one of those guys many years ago. I want to move the needle. But now I've learned that it's not about moving the needle right away. It's about establishing the behavior that if you keep doing will move the needle. But you can't ask yourself, gee, when's the needle going to move? When's the needle going to move? Doesn't matter. Keep doing the habit, the successful habit. I promise you, the needle will move. In fact, it won't just move, it'll probably jump. And that's going to be something pretty powerful. So when we think about intentional living, when we think about progress, when we think about these real important things in life, okay, I think these are the keys that make a difference for us. Okay. They are the keys for us to make this amazing, amazing difference. A difference that maybe we didn't even think was possible. That's pretty powerful, guys. Yeah, very powerful. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know, I'm John C. Morley, a serial entrepreneur. And it is always such a privilege. It is such a pleasure and it's such an honor to be with you. Every time you watch me live or you see me in person or you watch a recording that I've made, you read an article that I've written, or maybe watch a reel that I've done, you're able to see that the pieces of the puzzle don't all come together at once, but they do eventually come together. I hope that tonight's show has inspired you to start realizing the truth about your own path and your clarity. And with tonight's special topic about focus and prioritization. And so many big companies say, you know what, we're going to focus, but you know what they really don't do? They don't focus right. No, they just create a disaster. And that's a big problem for a lot of people. They create, what do we call it, guys? Drama. Yeah, you caught that, right? Drama, right? Kind of exaggerating that word. Some people live for drama. Guys, I hope you have a fantastic evening. Do check out BelieveMeAchieve.com. Catch you real soon. Take care, everyone. And remember, focus and priority. It's a big set of keys for your success.